Hi guys, this is Rimmer, aka the Cat, and I'm finally going to do a lightning gun tutorial, a video tutorial. This is gonna be on mouse aim and dodging, and I'm not gonna cover strafe aim in the video tutorial because I just can't be bothered. I've got a written tutorial on the Quake Live forums. It's in script format because I was going to make a video on it, so I hope you don't get too bothered about that. I'm gonna link to it below. Anyway, you strafe aim is pretty easy. You just well, strafe with your opponent while correcting your aim, basically. When your crosshair gets off the opponent, you can practice it against bots with really good results, actually. Anyway, before you watch any further, I want you to try something. I want you to just go onto an empty practice server or something. Stand in front of a wall and then just try to hit a really small spread like this. Or it's not a really small spread, but you know, you get the picture. And the reason I want you to do this is to see how smooth your mouse movements are, how easily you can hit low spread. Because if your mouse starts jerking around like that, then you can't really hit a reasonably small spread here. That probably means that you have a really shitty mousepad, and possibly some really shitty mouse gates on your mouse, or a really shitty mouse too. So you might want to consider buying new ones. Just check out, say, esreality.com and ask for recommendations. I also have some recommendations in my written tutorial if you want to check that out. And being able to move your mouse smoothly it's a prerequisite to good mouse aim, because this is not like the railgun where you just move your gun onto the opponent and shoot once. You have to actually keep your crosshair on your opponent for extended periods of time, and it's a different kind of aim. It's not necessarily harder. Just because you're good with a railgun doesn't mean you're automatically gonna be good with a lightning gun, nor the opposite. If you've been watching my videos, you might have seen the video where I hit 67% lightning gun accuracy, and you might have also down thumbed it. I don't blame you for it. Anyway, there is a story behind that video. I was playing against this guy called Kaz because back then I was already developing a reputation for having a really good lightning gun, so people were challenging me to lightning gun duels, and then this guy challenged me, and I noticed pretty quickly that he had a really good dodge and I couldn't hit him. I tried to strafe with him, but he wouldn't let me, basically, and he was hitting 40% pretty much constantly, while I was only hitting about 33%. So I got my friend 60 underscore something to practice lightning gun with me, and we basically tried to strafe with each other as much as possible. And you saw how it ended. We started hitting really retarded lightning gun accuracies. First it climbed to 50, then 60, and then I tried to hit 70%, and I almost pulled it off. 67. And then I fought Kaz again, and my accuracy had improved by like 1%. I still only hit 34%, I think. And the reason for that I found out by spectating him, and he was strafing in the opposite direction that I was. Let's say the machine gun trail is where I was strafing. It was basically going like this. I was trying to strafe with him, but he just wouldn't let me. And he was not using the strafe keys to aim. He was using his mouse and pretty much nothing but the mouse to hit me. Anyway, you can get very far with strafe aim alone. You can easily get into higher tier 4. However, once you start fighting against, say, skill rating 100 opponents, you're gonna notice that you don't hit nearly as much as you maybe think you should. and they might still be hitting really high accuracy on you. And essentially the reason for that is because, one, they know dodging, and two, they know mouse aim. And to be able to dodge effectively while still hitting, you need to learn mouse aim, because if you're trying to strafe with your opponent to hit, well, you're not going to be dodging, you're just gonna be trying to hit as much as possible. You can still dodge while incorporating strafe aim into your dodge, but you gotta use both, essentially. I'm also going to show you a demo of a lightning gun duel and try to commentate it and explain a bit what's going on, and just let you see what the different kind of aims and dodges look like. Expect the commentary to be really bad, because, well, there's gonna be a lot of quick changing around of patterns, and I'm not gonna be able to keep up very well. So what I'm gonna do first is to explain the different types of dodges and aims, for instance, here, without any enemies around, and then just show you the demo so you can see what it looks like in a fight. Anyway, first of all, to have a good dodge, you have to know the different patterns. First of all, of course, there's the different aim patterns. There's strafe aim, and there's mouse aim. And then there's essentially high accuracy strafes, where you do pretty much long strafes or some regular strafes, and try to either move with your opponent or in the opposite direction of your opponent. And then there is the low accuracy, high dodge strafes, which is essentially you try to make quick movements, like incorporate some short strafes into your dodge and try to shake his aim off while you're looking for situations where you can essentially hit really long streaks of high accuracy. And then you just switch around between these patterns. And by the way, short strafe is essentially you spam the A and D buttons. No. Yeah, I actually use D and G, but whatever. Long strafes are, yeah, these. And then there's also the circle strafe. This is something you should use sparingly. It can catch the opponent off guard. It can catch actually really good opponents off guard, but they can also exploit it and just start moving with you, so you gotta be ready to quickly change it around to like throw some short strafes in there. And don't try to dodge randomly, it's not really going to work. For one, your own aim is gonna get screwed up, and for the other, random doesn't necessarily mean good, because it's not really going to be fully random either way, and he can just throw in a circle strafe and try to move to your side, in which case you're just gonna get hit for like 100%. And anyway, a good way to practice this, obviously there's the lightning gun duel, which is really effective. You should practice both against opponents who are worse than you and opponents who are better than you. Opponents who are worse than you, so that you can essentially try to get a hang of just hitting those high accuracy streaks while they're moving reasonably predictably while you're yourself trying to dodge, and really good opponents, so that you can get used to trying to hit high, or not high, but decent accuracies against people who are good at dodging. I've done some lightning gun duels against Heartless, for instance, and he's an insanely good dodger, and I have yet to be able to hit like 40%. I've only hit about 35-36% on him, and but playing against him actually helped me hit a lot higher against other opponents, and he actually also taught me a lot about dodging. So yeah, find some you can try to find some partners to lightning gun duel with. This map is actually really good for lightning gun duels if you don't have premium, because there's this huge open area here. Don't go to like Hell's Gates, because Hell's Gate, the one who's gonna win is essentially the guy who's... I can actually show you it, hold on. Anyway, the reason you should not be using this map to lightning gun duel is essentially because very often it's gonna end up with one person standing, say, here, and one person standing, say, here or here. And guess which one is going to win? It's obviously going to be the one here, because he has a lot more room to dodge. And the guy who's standing here is not going to have too much room to dodge. He's not going to be able to do much of anything, while the guy here is going to pretty easily hit like 45 to 50 even percent lightning gun. So a lot of the time it's gonna end up with one guy standing, say, here and the other here, and it's just gonna become like a close combat lightning gun duel, and it's fucking retarded. If you have Premium or Pro, this is pretty much the best map you can use for lightning gun duels. It was pretty much made for lightning gun duels. In fact, it's called Eye to Eye. You just stand around here, try to kill each other, and you can pretty much do any kind of dodge here. Circle strafe, or, well, any kind of strafe. Short strafe, long strafes, pretty easily. So if you can play on this map, do it. Don't play on Thunderstruck. I know a lot of people like to lightning gun duel on Thunderstruck, but it's not really as dodge friendly as this map, say. Alright, this is gonna be me versus Konyi. One thing to note first of all is that Konyi is better than me at mouse aim. So a key part of my dodge is essentially going to be that I'm going to try to force our strafes into situations where we're using strafe aim, whereas Konyi he's going to try to do the opposite basically. My dodge is better than Konyi's. You'll probably notice he doesn't like to strafe spam short strafes like a lot of people do. Sadly I won't really get that many examples of how to counter that kind of strafe spam, but essentially you want to do against strafe spam. When someone is strafe spamming just 80, 80, 80, 80, 80 really quickly, they're essentially standing still, so one thing you can do is you do long strafes and just keep a good smooth mouse movement so that your cursor is basically in between where they're moving. That way you'll hit a really high accuracy. However, obviously they're going to switch around, if they don't, you're obviously gonna hit like 50%. But anyway, here we go. I don't know why I did that.
Round begins in
first round.
3, 2, 1, fight.
Alright, right off the bat, you notice at first when the game started we were doing mouse aim, and then it progressed into strafe aim. That's because Konyi, as I said, is better than me at mouse aim, so I had to switch it around a bit because he was hitting a lot.
Round begins in 3, 2, 1, fight.
And now here was he being just a douchebag, and
Red wins the round.
he won. And I won.
Round begins in 3, 2, 1, fight.
Now there you see it started with strafe aim, and I was hitting a lot of lightning gun at the start. However, he threw in some short strafes and managed to turn it around so that we were strafing in opposite directions, and he killed me with his superior mouse aim.
Round begins in
and I won again.
3, 2, 1, fight. Blue wins the
That was
round.
a rather dodge-heavy round for me. I was just constantly switching patterns around. And yeah, he whines.
Round begins in 3, 2, 1.
This time I'm hitting pretty badly,
Red wins
and
the
he
round.
just mows me down because I was trying to dodge,
Round
but he
begins
dodged
in
better, and
3,
my dodge caused me
2,
to miss.
1.
You gotta keep that in mind that
Wins
just
the round.
dodging is not gonna be enough. If you screw up your own aim, you're
Round
still gonna
begins
lose.
in 3, 2, 1.
And here I'm trying to
Wins the
strafe
round.
aim, but he just doesn't let me. He easily predicts my movement there, and he just mouse aims me down.
Round begins in
He's bragging.
3, 2, 1. Blue wins the
That
round.
was a relatively even game.
Round begins in 3, 2, 1. Wins the round. Round begins in 3, 2, 1. Blue wins the round.
You saw him there do a lot of long strafes. I also mimicked him and did a lot of long strafes, but I threw in some short strafes just to throw his aim off, basically preventing him from getting a lightning gun lock. And while he was turning since I was hitting so much, my lightning gun was essentially pushing him and slowing him down while he was switching directions, which it makes him almost stand still and lets me hit a lot of lightning. He didn't get a lock at all there, so
Round begins in 3,
we have been
2,
playing a really long time by then.
1. Blue wins the round.
And there you see me force him into strafe aim situations.
Round
And what the hell is
begins
he
in
asking? Is my whole
3,
tunnel like
2, 1. Blue wins the round.
He did a relatively good job there in forcing me to move to his strengths. However, I simply had too much of an advantage in the beginning since I already hit a lot of damage, so he didn't manage to kill me.
Round begins in 3, 2, 1. Fight.
And he's late, dick.
Blue wins the round.
I probably won because I shot first.
Round begins in 3, 2, 1.
Here we do a bit of circle strafing, as you can see.
Blue wins the round.
And it's kind of bad to simply do long strafes against a circle strafe, because when you circle strafe, basically what you're doing is you're moving to their side, so when they switch directions, the lightning gun push, again, it causes them to slow down. So you don't really want to strafe in perhaps the opposite direction of a circle strafer and switch.
Round begins
It's a bit
in
difficult to explain.
3, 2, 1.
Here's a lot more circle
Blue
strafing,
wins the
and
round.
that was an example of me hitting a really high mouse aim accuracy.
Round begins in 3, 2, 1. Red wins the round.
We're not really having the best dodges here. This is a
Round
high
begins
accuracy
in-
game, you can see by the fact that I'm hitting 40%. It's not the highest accuracy, but still.
3, 2, 1. Wins the round.
There he simply kills me with superior mouse aim.
Round begins in 3,
By the way, one easy way I found to counter
2,
the circle strafe actually is to spam short strafes, because they're gonna be moving in one direction obviously, and because of that, if you do short strafes, they're gonna have to constantly like move their mouse very short distances really jerkily, and that's gonna throw their aim off, so
1.
you could try that.
Wins the round. Round begins in 3, 2,
He's not impressed with my
1.
dodging skills. And I win with 6 HP.
Blue wins.
So anyway, try to practice this stuff. Incorporate a good dodging pattern, switch between them, and always remember that it's not about trying to get your opponent to hit as little or possible, nor is it about trying to you yourself hit as much as possible. The thing you wanna do is actually to hit as much more than your enemy as possible. So you can actually either do high accuracy strafes, just try to hit as much as possible, and you can do that both with mouse aim or strafe aim. It's just that you gotta try to get a lock, obviously. Or you can do a high dodge, low accuracy game, and which one you do is going to depend on what your opponent is good at. With the lightning gun duel versus Kanye was actually better than me at mouse aim, so my dodge actually was based a lot on trying to force situations where we used strafe aim, because I was actually better than him at that, and I believe that's because he's a high sensitivity player, though I'm not entirely sure about that. But anyway, you're not gonna get good at lightning gun just by watching this video. I've given you methods to practice now, or things to keep in mind, and I want you to actually go and try to practice them. Use the lightning gun a lot in, say, Clan Arena or something, and just practice and practice, because it's just like with the railgun tutorial. This is about muscle memory. It's pretty much entirely about muscle memory. When I do lightning gun duels, I don't really think about this. I just do them by reflex, and that should be your goal. And you can always try to see what your weakness is by, say, if I compare myself to Heartless. Heartless has a lot smoother mouse movements than I do. My mouse movements kind of go like this when I'm trying to hit someone, whereas his go really smoothly, and Heartless obviously hits a lot more than I do. So if you have a bad mouse pad, obviously you have to fix it by getting a better mouse pad first, because yeah, it's gonna hold you back otherwise. With me, I right now my mouse pad is pretty worn out, but it's a good mouse pad anyway. So I know it's basically got to do with me, and it's something that can be deliberately practiced away. And by the way, another important thing about practicing is, let's say you've played Quake for several years, but you're still really bad at hitting lightning gun. You just can't hit. Even though you play like 6 hours a day, you haven't improved. The reason for that is just playing and trying to like practice it's not really going to be enough. You actually have to practice the correct way. and that's what I'm trying to teach you here, how to practice the correct way to actually progress with your aim. Hopefully it'll help you. The written guide I wrote, I've actually had people tell me that just reading the guide improved their aim by a crap ton. So yeah. Well, obviously not just reading, they actually practiced it too, but you know what I mean, they actually used the methods suggested in the written tutorial in practice. And it's basically what I've done in the railgun tutorial too, with the flick rails and whatnot. You just practice, improve your muscle memory, improve your mouse movement, so that you can hit exactly what you're aiming for. This is essentially the same thing, it's just that your mouse movements have to be smooth. Like that, say.